Welcome, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for being here tonight to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm Khalil Sarin, Mayor of Cleveland Heights. I'm just going to give a few opening remarks. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was clearly a massive inspiration and impactful figure in American history. We celebrate with a national holiday. Now clearly, he was not always the figure that we see him as. In fact, at one point in the United States history, he was referred to as the most hated man in America. Now I can't imagine. I've been on the receiving end of quite a bit of vitriol as a mayor. You come to expect it. But this man lived in an era where political violence was not the exception. He came to expect it. Where he had a national presence and some of the most violent elements of our community, of our society, were arrayed against him. And the way that he chose to respond to that hatred, to that bigotry, and to that violence was to open himself up with love, forgiveness, and peace. Now this year, and over the last several years, this community and communities all over the country have been rocked by violent crime, violence that we perpetrate on each other. And so this year, for this holiday, for this celebration, we chose a particular theme. We chose to investigate how we might bring peace into our community, how we might choose to express peaceful activism to create a more peaceful community right here in Cleveland Heights. And so I am really excited to hear from all of you what ways that you can bring peace into our community, what ways that you can bring peace and justice into our community. And with that, I will turn it over, because we have a special guest tonight, Sierra Freeman, the Heights Poet Laureate, the first Poet Laureate for both Cleveland Heights and University Heights, to share some of her work with us this evening. Ms. Freeman, please.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm so excited to be here. Can you clap for yourselves for being here? Congratulations. Hey, if you are under the age of 12 in this room and you like writing or you like to hear poems, can I hear you clap really quickly as loud as So when they asked me to make an appearance here, they left out a very important detail, and that was that we were celebrating some youth writers. And that's important to me for a lot of reasons. Reasons one, I was a youth writer. There's no way I could have been Poet Laureate if I wasn't 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, writing stories, writing poems, writing notes, writing letters. I don't want anybody little with a poem in their hand right now to ever stop writing. I am in a room full of future Poet Laureates. Can y'all clap for them to make sure they know? So they are already clapping for you, y'all. They already know. So I had chosen a poem, and then as some poets will know, sometimes you get a different audience and you realize, I need to do a different poem. So this poem is for this particular audience. I did it for Channel 3 for MLK Day, and I feel like it's just perfect. for the faces that I see in this room tonight. There are heroes amongst us, Cleveland. Cleveland, home of Superman, Cleveland, city of superhumans. And what is a superhero but a person who dares to try over and over and over and over again? A human with a green thumb grows a community garden and a neighborhood hunger beast is slayed. An artist creates a mural, takes a photograph, writes poems and plays, dances and sings of people in the city smiling, and suddenly, y'all, the people in the city are smiling. A nurse did not get any sleep last night, so someone else could. The barber, the beautician use their bare hands to ready us for funerals, steady us for weddings, and prepare us for Mondays. The gas station clerk knew someone needed gas more than the gas station needed an extra dollar. There is a tired teacher in Cleveland who will never ever be too tired, and superheroes are more than what people do for a living. Superheroes are what people do for the living. Thank you. Y'all are too kind. Martin Luther King is mad inspiring, right? That's simple. That's something we know as a country, something we know as a people to be true, to be concrete. And I think to be unified under one person's goodness, one person's fight for justice, it speaks not only to that person, but what we are capable of as a community. If one person's good can make us come together, imagine how far we could come and how much we would come together for everyone else's good. Martin Luther King didn't just want us to come together for his good. He wanted us to come together for our neighbors' good, for the person at the corner store's good, for the homeless person's good, for the teacher's good, for the 11-year-old's good. Children are people too. MLK fought for them too. They were a big part of his platform. The reason why we all could come under MLK so easily is because MLK fought for everyone. And sometimes people think that adults, myself included now, unfortunately, I am an adult. They think that we can't learn anything, that we're here to do all the teaching. I don't think that's fair. I think we should have just as much space and opportunity to learn. And I think kids should have just as much space and opportunity to teach. I'm a teacher. That's what I do when I'm not the poet laureate. I'm an 11th grade teacher at Cleveland School of Arts. So I love education. And I don't just teach, I learn all day. My kids will tell you, I learn for a living. I get to be taught by the future every day. So I am living MLK's dream. And I dare everybody, no matter their age in this room, to not only be a learner, but to be a teacher, and to open themselves up to educating others around us, and being open to being educated by others around us, no matter what they look like, no matter how old they are. If that's cool, can I hear this room say cool? Cool. Well, then I did my job. Peace out.
Every single time I hear Sierra Freeman, it brings a little bit of tears to my eyes. I don't normally let them go, but thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for blessing us with your gift. And now is the time, just building off of what Ms. Freeman said. We are all learners, and we can all be teachers. And that's part of what this program is about. It's not just a contest. It's not just a let's see who can write the best essay. This is a chance for our community to come together and hear what our young people have to say, to learn from our young people, to hear their words and incorporate them into our lives. And so with that, I would like to begin bringing some of our winners up to read their essays and their poems and show us their art and accept your award. We'll start with Eli Briggs. Fifth grade, Roxborough Elementary, teacher Jennifer Thomas. You have your
So the first thing that can be done to create a peaceful community is having people build a small community with professionals who can help people who are thinking of harming people in any way. Another thing that we can do is have police at schools, or have more than one security guard at schools. In the case of an emergency, or if somebody has a dangerous weapon on them, like a gun, knife, pocket knife, or other things. Also, it could just be a matter of motivating kids who have a low mindset and are always negative to go outside or do a workout. The fourth thing a kid could do is just slow down their body and meditate, or simply take a nap. There can be a whole bunch of different communities to help the young with PTSD, low mindset, or even think of killing themselves. There can also be flyers for kids who are misbehaving in school and feel like fighting a teacher, or even worse. Or it could just be helping a neighborhood to stop daily crime by checking houses to make sure there are no guns or other weapons in the houses. There are many things we can do to create a peaceful community.
Next, we have Jameer Johnson, 5th grade, Roxborough Elementary, teacher Jennifer Thomas. Again, Jameer.
I can use nonviolent activism to create a community that is at peace with itself by doing things Martin Luther King did to make his community peaceful and calm. Sometimes when grocery stores run on food, people get very upset and act angrily. I could help by donating things to a food pantry so people can have enough food. If I know about kids doing dangerous things, I can get an adult to help in the situation. If I help to keep the city clean, it will make it nicer and become more popular. More people will want to come here. I could also give a speech at school about bullying and how to be nice to one another. These are the things I can do to make my community more at peace.
I just want to stop for a second and point out, Eli talked about meditation, slowing down, taking a moment in order to calm yourself so that you don't respond and react violently in certain situations. Jameer talked about basic needs being met so that people don't feel desperate and resort to violence in order to meet those needs. This is the kind of thing that we get when we listen to our young people. Maybe we encourage our our school district or after-school programs to provide education and meditation, yoga, those sorts of things that can help, that we know as adults can help us mitigate stress. And that's something that we can do for our children as well. All right, next up, also from Jennifer Thomas, Roxborough Elementary School, 5th grade, Eloise Lomnicki.
There are many ways to create a nonviolent community that is not only at peace with itself, but with other communities as well. I will list some ideas and their effects. Now, before we get started, you need to know what exactly nonviolent activism is. Nonviolent activism is where you commit to resorting to nonviolence and not using violent ways to solve problems. Some ways you can use nonviolent activism are: do not encourage bad behavior or violence, especially in young children. Instead, motivate good behaviors, kindness, and equality. Always try to reason with one another. It's best to hear both sides of the story. Be kind to all. That's one of the basics. Do not provoke or start a fight. Remember, this is nonviolent activism. Do not participate in disputes and/or arguments unless you are trying to solve the problem. Instead, participate in marches, boycotts, and strikes to try to settle disagreements in your community. Effects of these objectives include: people and children will not be violent, but instead be kind and equal. Reasoning with one another will allow you to hear what others think, allowing you to propose compromises. Being kind to all will make all be kind to you. Not provoking or starting fights will be nonviolent. Last but not least, taking part in marches, boycotts, and strikes will be a good example of nonviolent activism. It's really important to make a safe and nonviolent community where all can live in fairness and equality. That is why people should not resort to violent ways to solve problems.
We are getting all kinds of an education here tonight. The idea that, and I know every single one of us here has seen the people who want to engage, especially online where they're protected a little bit by the keyboards and the screens. They want to engage in the argument. They want to have the fight. Very rarely do people want to solve the problem. And I think that that's an important thing to take away from this. If you speak from a constructive place, you'll be trying to build with your neighbors instead of fighting with your neighbors. And that's a peaceful endeavor to try to create in collaboration and cooperation with the people around you. Thank you. Next up, from 4th grade, Noble Elementary School, teacher Alexia Boyles, we've got Cameron Starr. Cameron, please come on up.
If the world was at peace with itself, we would have a fantastic world and we would all be at peace. Next, if the world was at peace with itself, we would have a clean environment and a big ecosystem. And we would have a bigger environment than humans. We would have more people to take over our will. And we will be remembered as a fantastic person. Then, if our world was at peace with itself, we all would have a voice and equal rights. Also, everyone would be able to be friends if you wanted to. And we would all have a choice. In addition, we would all not be judged by our skin tone, and we would all be able to work together farther. If the world was at peace with itself, we would all be able to go wherever we want and not have enemies. Furthermore, another reason about if the world was at peace with itself, we would not have we would have equal materials for everyone. What I mean by this is everyone would have a shelter and food to eat. Finally, this is what I think the world would be about if it was at peace with itself.
We're hearing some themes here. People's needs need to be met. We need to make room for all the members of our community, no matter their skin color, their religion, national origin. And of course, innumerable qualities that we don't need to list right now here in Cleveland Heights, but that is the goal, to create a community that has room for everyone. Our next is also Roxborough Elementary School, 5th grade. Jennifer Thomas, Nora Surratt. I'll be reading this for Nora. I can use nonviolent activism to create a community that is at peace with itself. There are many different ways to do this. For example, you could use a talking stick to be able to hear one person at a time in a conversation instead of everyone saying things simultaneously. The talking stick could help with giving people rules to follow to make sure everybody's heard. The rules of the talking stick are whoever is holding the talking stick is the only one who can talk. So with the problem, instead of everyone talking at once, they pass the stick around to whomever wants to say something about the problem. Another rule of the talking stick is when you have it in your hands, you have to talk nicely, calmly, and peacefully, so you won't hurt anyone's feelings. So instead of talking rudely or screaming at someone when there's a problem, you should talk kindly, or maybe with a talking stick. Without talking sticks, people would begin screaming at each other, yelling, or starting physical fights with punching. And if you scream or yell at someone, you can make them sad. If you disagree with someone because the other person has a different opinion than you could compromise with them. Make their idea or suggestion go first, and then make your idea or suggestion go second. Or even do them at the same time. A violent community isn't the kind of community I want to live in. There are many other ways in addition to the talking stick to make a community that is not violent. I hope that everyone can think of ideas to make the community we live in not violent, but not violently. Thank you. Next, 4th grade, Noble Elementary, teacher Alexia Boyles. We've got Rihanna Webster. Rihanna?
I think people should be able to express themselves in ways such as what they eat, how they dress, the holidays they celebrate, the way they dance, and just how people express themselves in their own way. I also think people shouldn't be judged on their disability or disease because they can still be really smart, and I think people should support them to get better at reading, writing, and math. I also strongly think that people should stop and think before they judge a person by its cover. They could be going through something and you could make their day worse. I feel nonviolence is peace, harmony, and justice. That is what I feel nonviolence is. I think people should keep peace, harmony, and nonviolence in the world and in different communities. Kindly support nonviolence, encouraging others. What could you do to make the community a better place?
I think that's going to be a theme. You don't get peace without justice. You don't get peace without freedom. allowing people the freedom to be who they are without judgment, without hatred and bigotry, and with support from the community. And that's what I love about Cleveland Heights, is that we don't just tolerate people's differences. We welcome people's differences and fold them into the embrace of this community. All right, next up, Nova Brown Hitchcock, 5th grade, Fairfax Elementary, Sonia Singer.
Peace is a thing far between it and needs more attention. It's really something worth a mention. It's hard to find but not non-existent. Peace is where there is no violence, no fighting or harm. Where there is peace, there can be despair, but it's easier to bear.
This is an example of how poetry can communicate the concepts that sometimes it can be difficult or cumbersome for prose to provide the same kind of insight. And we are beginning with Nova. We have begun the awards for poems. And next up, Winifred Kreiner Bakaitis, 3rd grade, Fairfax Elementary, teacher Sonia Sensick.
Continuing the dream. I have a dream, just like Martin Luther King. I dream of peace, the sound of a still town and a quiet night. I dream of respect, showing kindness to others, seeing someone sad and cheering them up. I dream of fairness. Everybody gets what they need. Help everybody finish the race no matter where they start. I dream of changes. You can change anything if you work at it. Try your best. Raise your arms for and reach for justice.
Next up, Charlotte Slazewski, 5th grade, Communion of Saints School, teacher Dominic Butari.
Marching. I hear pounds, pounds, pounding. Is it the drums of battle or the marching of the boycott band? Walking in harmony or running in fear? Giving a home or wondering if home is near? Showing your face, your race, you, me, we, or hiding, waiting to be taken? Your race, you, me, we. They can take the streets, we will take the park. They can take the horses, but we'll need 2 for the ark. Keep running, keep hiding, keep falling, keep dividing. Keep losing, keep crying, we won't fall. Me, us all. Hand in hand, me and my boycott band. The pound, pound, pounding. Me and my boycott band.
Now, we're going to begin our elementary school student posters. And so I'll ask the students that we have here today with us to come up and show their posters, but we also will have them up on the screen here for everybody to be able to see. And our first award goes to Lanaya Collins. I'm not sure if Lanaya is here tonight, but this is Lanaya's poster. I have a dream that one day there will be peace everywhere, all around the world, just like Martin Luther King did. I have a dream that there will be fairness all around the world because we should always believe. I have a dream that people will not be judged by the color of their skin, by their character. I have a dream that there will not be war anywhere around the world. No war, peace, equality, fairness, love. Keep dreaming. Next, our next poster is by Zadie Lampy. First grade, Fairfax Elementary, teacher Sonia Sensick. When you are kind to more people, your heart gets bigger like a growing little tiger. Unfortunately, Zadie couldn't be here with us tonight. She got a little ill today, but thank her for providing this. Our next poster, second grade, Fairfax Elementary, teacher Sonia Sensick, Alexandria Zhang. Please come up. Would you like to explain your poster? All right, well, let's take a look. This is a wonderful poster that sketches a timeline of Martin Luther King's life and contributions. You want to point anything out? Anything special? No? Okay. Well, this is a wonderful poster, and thank you so much. This award is for you. Thank you so much. The poster. Now that concludes our elementary school awards, and with that, I would like to call our new City Council President, Tony Kuda, up to the podium to provide the awards to our middle and high school students. Thank you.
Oh, this is so wonderful. So Martin Luther King was a civil rights activist for about only 12 years. It was really, and it happened to be the first 12 years of my life. And at a time this country was so confused about race and social justice and what it all meant. What a wonderful, wonderful resource for all of us to be able to turn on the television and get guidance from somebody whose heart was in the right place and who was always striving for bringing people together. And he always said longevity has its place. And to be this age now and having grown up with Martin Luther King in the years, the middle school and elementary school years, when you're really impressionable and needing that guidance, it was a wonderful thing for me. I was a middle school teacher and a high school teacher. That was my career, so I'm very much looking forward to presenting these awards. So we're going to start with Erin Austin. Erin, are you here? There we go. Come on up, Erin. Erin is a seventh grader at Roxborough Middle School, and her teacher is Monique Christian.
Hello. How can we create a community that is at peace with itself using nonviolent activism? Using nonviolent activism, we can help prevent suicide, offer help to those who attempted it, and help those who contemplate it. Suicide is a significant public health concern that has a devastating impact on family members, friends, peers, teachers, etc. The Ohio Department of Health says that it is the second leading cause of death among youth ages 10 through 24. One way we can help reduce the risk of suicide and get help to those who need support is to recognize the risk. These risks can include mental and behavioral health conditions such as depression, substance abuse, previous suicide attempts, academic stress, and more. We can help prevent suicide among youth by knowing the risk factors and educating youth about them. We can organize marches to draw attention to the issue, organize walks to fund for the resources, and help support kids. For teens in school, we can visit classes and educate them about suicide, what to do if they have suicidal thoughts, and the risk factors, and hand out cards with the resources on them. Talking about it and helping people can decrease the shame around it. Suicide is a tragedy that impacts youth and their families, but through activism we can prevent that and create a community that is safe for itself.
All right, next we have Caleb Hodges from the seventh grader from Roxborough Middle School, and also same teacher, Monique Christian. Is Caleb here? There we go.
I can use nonviolent activism to create a community of peace by making a petition to help Cleveland Heights with how people disrespect teachers in Cleveland Heights schools. I'll collect student signatures to get their opinions on how to prevent the disrespect of our teachers at Cleveland Heights schools. Some reasons why I'm making a petition to prevent teachers from being respected are that petitions are good because you can carry them around and ask for people's signatures. For example, I will go around the school building in the Cleveland Heights community and ask students some questions on what they think, and then they would sign if necessary. Another reason is it is not kind in any circumstances to disrespect your teachers. Also, you can get in a lot of trouble and potentially be suspended. So to prevent that, the signatures will go to the mayor and the city council, and there they will make the decision which will make a difference in how our community acts toward our Cleveland Heights teachers. In conclusion, our ideas will help Cleveland Heights schools and communities to make a big difference in how we treat each other, and not only at school, but also in how we treat our Cleveland Heights community.
Where was Caleb when I had my middle school classroom? All right, Ginger McLennan. Where are you, Ginger? There we go. Okay, give her a hand. Seventh grader from Roxborough Middle School. Also, teacher Monique Christian. We'll get shot. Wow, this is good.
Students in school today are facing a lot of stress and anxiety. There are many reasons contributing to this in the school community, such as bullying, stress, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. I believe we should do something to bring awareness to mental health for students in our community. One way we could do this is organize an event to pass out green ribbons, the symbol of mental health awareness, with the slogan "Mental Health Matters," or MHM written on them. Stressful work plays a big role in deteriorating mental health for students. In the article, "Students Protest About Stressful Schoolwork," from onekufs.org, one student says, "Once I finish one assignment, another immediately jumps in. They give us work when we're already working on others." Stressful working situations like this are causing anxiety about due dates and grades, as well as stress on top of piling work. Even small assignments can pile on, causing a lot of energy to be used, making students tired. Grades also cause stress. It can be a lot for students who have to work 6 or more hours a day in class and then go home just to do homework or study for a test. Another student says, "A lot of them require work for them to be done, which makes me worry I won't turn it in on time, which makes my grades go down." Bullying and social interactions can also cause a lot of mental health problems and stress. As much as school tries to be all about schoolwork, social activity plays a big role. Social interactions can go as far as problems with friends or bullies. Recently, suicide rates have gone way up for teens in school. According to the article, youth suicide risk increased over the past decade from odh.ohio.gov. The percentage of teens who said they've seriously considered suicide, according to the results of a survey, went up from 16% in 2011 to 22% in 2022. This has to do with online bullying and social media that often starts or at least continues in school. Many of people being cyberbullied also get made fun of by the same people in the classroom. Social media can be an easy way to reach peers that get bullied in class. Distracting bullies and drama can cause teens to lose focus on schoolwork and makes their grades go down. The article Social Anxiety Causes Symptoms and Treatment from Healthline.com states a child may feel anxious about going to school because it is where they encounter bullying. I think a good way to peacefully bring awareness to mental health in the classroom would be to pass out green ribbons to tie around a finger or wrist with NHM written across them. Students could wear these ribbons to school to attract awareness or attention to the fact that we're here and we need mental health too. We could also propose a plan to add emotional check-ins to the daily routine and to make guidance counselors more of an available source. I think many students at my school don't even realize that is a tool for them or know how to make an appointment to visit them. But I believe all of these tools could help students who are going through stress and anxiety. Therefore, I think reminding everyone that youth have mental health as well would be a good idea. It might help shine some light on students and the mental health crisis at hand. That's why this would be a great way to non-violently help create a community that is at peace with itself.
7th grade, it doesn't almost seem possible. I mean, we never talked about mental health, and you think about what these kids have gone through with just being in middle school, let alone, COVID and everything that came before it. So that's so wonderful that that you're talking about it and giving great suggestions so openly. So now we turn to middle school poetry. Bria Horn. Come on up, Bria, 6th grade, Monticello Middle School, teacher Janice, what's up, Andres? Do you have it on your phone? Yeah, that's it. It's easy to do that.
Bullying needs to stop. Let's make it stop. Bullying hurts people's feelings and it makes people feel like they're not worth anything. We are all valuable. Bullying can affect someone's mental health. The bullies just bullies because something is going on at home. Stop bullying. It's not funny. If you need help, you are not alone. Bullying can make people want to do harmful things to themselves. Let's celebrate our differences together. Not hate people for being unique. Put yourself in their shoes and see how it feels. Be real, not fake. You would not like it if you see something wrong, write it.
All right, next we have Marguerite Schuck, 6th grader from Monticello Middle School, teacher Janice Andres. Is Marguerite?
People will notice things that are wrong, but do they really care? How long do you think it will take for everybody to realize what they're doing? If you really want to make a difference, why aren't you trying? I can list out thousands and thousands of problems that nobody's fixing. Imagine our lives in 9 or 10 years. When it's all over, the things we have been doing will catch up to us, staring the world in its face. Will we be too skittish to understand our wrongdoings? Or will we show up to fix our mistakes? Face the guilt of knowing it's our fault. Imagine a world where we can enjoy life and not have to worry about danger or death. Impossible it seems and impossible it may be if nobody tries. We will pick a road to go down. The sun will lead through the thoughtful composition of tree leaves, making the best of change, adapting to our forever shifting lives. Or it will be a stone frozen walkway, where the stiff steps we take crack and crumble the beautiful wonders our home has gifted us. What do we choose? It's up to us now. We must make a decision or forever just imagine.
Okay, next we go to the high school. Lorraine Ai, do I have that pronounced right? Good, okay. Come on up, Lorraine, give her a hand. 12th grader from Beaumont School. And the teacher is Michelle Burnett.
In a world often marked by conflict and discord, the prospect of fostering a community at peace with itself seems like an elusive dream. However, history has proven that the practice of nonviolent activism can serve as a transformative force, laying the foundation for a society bound by unity and harmony. By embracing principles of empathy, dialogue, and understanding, nonviolent activism becomes a potent tool in creating a community that thrives on cooperation rather than confrontation. At the core of nonviolent activism lies the belief that change can be achieved through peaceful means. Drawing inspiration from the teachings of leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., the essence of nonviolence lies not just in the absence of physical aggression, but also in the rejection of hatred and animosity. The journey towards a peaceful community begins with individuals committed to breaking the cycle of violence, choosing instead a path of compassion and empathy. One key element of nonviolent activism is the emphasis on open communication and dialogue. By creating spaces for constructive conversations, community can address underlying issues, dispel misconception, and build bridges between diverse groups. This exchange of ideas fosters a sense of shared humanity, dismantling barriers and nurturing an environment where differences are not sources of division, but opportunities for enrichment. Nonviolent activism encourages the cultivation of empathy, recognizes that the humanity in every individual, irrespective of their backgrounds or beliefs, serve as a powerful catalyst for unity. When a community values the unique perspective and experiences of its members, it fosters a sense of belonging and shared responsibility. Empathy becomes a common language that binds people together, creating a resilient social fabric resistant to the strain of animosity. Education plays a pivotal role in the success of nonviolent activism. By promoting awareness and understanding, communities can break free from the shackles of ignorance that fuel prejudice and hostility. Educational initiatives are focused on tolerance, acceptance, and conflict resolution, empower individuals to confront the roots of discord, facilitating the emergence of a community built on the principle of justice and equality. The application of nonviolent activism provides us a roadmap for crafting a community that is at peace with itself. Through embracing the empathy, dialogue, and education, individuals can collectively work towards dismantling the barrier that breeds conflict. It is in the hands of each member of a community to choose a path of nonviolence, recognizing its transformative potential for forging a society that thrives on unity, compassion, and lasting peace. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Mary Elizabeth Manning, 12th grader from Beaumont School, teacher Catherine Bernardo.
We live in a community that is a rich tapestry of beauty woven from the colors of our skin and the love we have for one another. Our community is partially the people we see from day to day, while also including the people we connect to even beyond our knowledge. We are part of communities based on factors as complex as our race or as simple as the schools we attend. The communities we belong to are what make us human, the foundation of our lives and perspectives. Yet our communities are the sources of immense hatefulness and division. Communities are wrought with chaos and confusion resulting from ignorance. This ignorance is founded not only in a refusal to respect the differences between us, but also in the common belief that violence is the only way to respond to disruptions and injustices aimed at our communities. Around the world, communities are rocked with barbarity and bloodshed on account of our differences. So many people feel the need to beat one another into some sort of submission to discredit the beauty of our communities. And in doing so, they shred the tapestry of our communities into scraps of pain and disrupted peace. Throughout our globe, the response to the perpetration of injustice is to violently fight back until our communities are ripping each other apart without giving thought to the fact that fighting fire with fire leads only to an uncontrollable tempest of violence. In Strength to Love, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Even in the midst of unceasing violence enacted towards his community and towards himself personally, Dr. King was able to realize that the constant darkness and disruption of peace in our communities can only be driven away by lovingly standing together against the adversity. His words are the call for nonviolent activism, which is so needed to successfully fight against injustice. The call is to raise our voices to spread awareness for communities under attack and to protect people who are forced into poverty because of violent intolerance. Raising our voices does not just mean merely whispering about violence and injustice, but instead means continually speaking out against the discrimination, inequity, and overall unwarranted violence faced by communities as a result of egregious intolerance. Raising our voices in order to carry out nonviolent activism means petitioning for change, attending and organizing nonviolent protests, donating and working to make the need for change and peace abundantly clear. We as communities need to work together and harmonize our voices to stifle violence and create a successful fight for peace. Our community will not only find peace in listening to the words of Dr. King and advocating for peace in other communities, but will also find peace through the unity that comes through collective nonviolent activism as a means to strengthen our own diverse tapestry to prevent violent erosion.
Mary Elizabeth was talking about, is this done? About the confusion. I'm going to give you guys a homework assignment. If you've never listened to the song Ball of Confusion by Temptations, listen to that song, because that sums up what my generation and what Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to do, what we were all up against. Next, these are poems. We have two poems. And the first one is by Lorene Aid. Lorene, again. Don't fail your school, don't not.
In the hush of a morning, draped in hope's golden hue, where dreams intertwine and justice breaks through. A symphony of voices rising in unison, weaving a tapestry of change where love is the sun. In the heart of a movement led by a dream, Martin's voice echoes a powerful stream. A river of courage carving path anew, guiding us to a peace with love as a view. Nonviolent whispers gentle as the breeze, stirring the embers of justice with ease. Proclaiming a truth that cannot be denied. In the face of oppression, love stands beside. Through the alleys of hatred paved with despair, march hand in hand a courageous affair. A mosaic of faces, color blending as one. In unity we find strength, our battles undone. Gathered beneath the banner of equality, we dance to the rhythm of a shared destiny. No fists clench in anger, no weapons are tied. Only the power of love reaches the sky. In the tapestry of protest, woven with care, threads of compassion, the fabric we wear. Nonviolent warriors aim with the truth. Champions of justice, champions of youth. The pen as a sword, the voice as a shield. For in the words of peace our destiny is sealed. A manifesto of love inscribed in the air. A revolution of hearts, banishing despair. The struggle is fierce, but the path is clear. Nonviolent echoes the world can hear. As bridges are built, not walls to divide, a community at peace where love will reside. Through the storm of injustice, the upheavals of faith, nonviolent whispers break down the gate. An anthem of freedom, a chorus of grace. In the arm of love, we find a grateful place. So let the ink of change flow from our pen, the symphony of jesting, sung again and again. In the heart of nonviolence, a community is born, a haven of peace in the light of the moon.
Well, I'm not worried about the future, not at all. I'm resting very easy today. Our last poem is from Kayla Ivory, 12th grader from Beaumont School, teacher Michelle.
Gangster, thug, and ghetto are often synonymous with my Black image. But I have a dream where instead of being shot, we march like our ancestors intended. Instead of killing our fathers, brothers, or sisters in their beds, listen to the cries of my people from the land that they bred. In a world where we are heard without knees to our necks, we can learn to communicate without it meaning our deaths. 2 guns aimed and cocked, one for protection, one to kill. Now ask yourself who truly has the value of free will. But there are those before us who sat at lunch counters, who stood in the face of death yet did not tremble or cower. We never forgot to dream, they unfortunately forgot to listen. But it is not an excuse for violence, as that taints our vision. It is not anger to express my voice. It is not pride to exclaim that my people should have a choice. So as we craft our posters with color, symbols, and phrases, understand we march for equality, not have it, but an oasis. And if that dream becomes true, we have achieved peace. For the circle of life is a table at which we must all feast. No person is given a portion more than the next, unless that person is more hungry and requests to be fed. If it is fair and democratic, we shall give them more. Now there's my dream of equity, which we should also march for. The souls may stay in the pits. The souls may stay in the pavement, but our blood is kept within us. A death count of 0, all because we learned how to discuss.
I'll tell you what, one big hand for all of the students. Mayor's going to lead us.
So I am going to ask you all to join me in song in just a second, but I did want to take just a brief moment and express some gratitude for some of the people who joined us here tonight. Again, thank you to Council President Kuda for joining us and helping to present these awards. I also wanted to mention that our new council member, Jim Petrus, is here. We've also got 2 school board members, Malia Lewis and Phil Trimble, who joined us tonight. Our city administrator, Danny Williams, is here with us tonight. And our former, the final city manager that the city has had, Susanna Neerman, is here tonight as well. Thank you for being here tonight. And Gail Larson, Councilor Gail Larson on City Council was here earlier. She had to leave a little bit earlier, but she was very sad to go and happy to be here tonight. And so with that, please join me. I think we'll put the lyrics up on the screen if we can, but apparently not. But we've got the lyrics on the back of your program if you'd like to join me in singing. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall live in peace someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall